everybody. Welcome back to Teaching Music Tomorrow. My name is Ann Molesky. I'm here with my friend Victoria Bowler, and we are here to talk about unpitched percussion. So in the last episode, we might have said we were going to record her. I don't remember what Victoria said, but we're actually going to do one more unpitched percussion thing for you. And Victoria reminded me of a fun introductory activity that I would like to share. She had another little special something to share as well. I'm not sure if it's introductory or not. She'll let us know when it's her turn to share. It was kind of one of those things where like, wait, there's more. Let's go back. So here we are. This is where we are. So anything you want to say before we dive in, Victoria?
Yeah, well, we were about to move to recorder, and I thought to myself, like, there's some basic things about unpitched percussion that we could have talked about and we didn't. And I bugged you again about this activity because what I shared with you is I have room for growth in my teaching with how much exploratory stuff I do with students before I actually ask them to like make music, big air quotes, make music in like a structured way. So I wanted you to share this activity because it's something that I want to get better at in the future.
Yeah, and so Victoria reminded me of this. So I'll go ahead and just dive on in. So we've done Willum, He Had Seven Sons on this podcast before in a different context, but if you didn't listen to that episode, you should. But I will go ahead and sing my version for you. So Willum, he had seven sons, seven sons, seven sons. Willum, he had seven sons, and this is what they did. And perhaps without instruments, you might go, number one was tapping his nose, tapping his nose, tapping his nose. Number one was tapping his nose, and this is what he did. What would number two do, Victoria, without instruments?
Eating cereal.
Eating cereal. Number two was eating cereal, eating cereal, eating cereal. Number two was eating cereal, and this is what he did. That was hard to sing. Number one was tapping his nose, tapping his nose, tapping his nose. Number one was tapping his nose. This is what he did. And then Willum, he had seven sons, etc. Right? So it's a cumulative game. We go all the way up to seven and have to remember all of the good stuff. So the way that Victoria remembered it is one way, and then I want to share like a little, no, I don't. We're just going to do it the one way today. Okay, so what I did, I have these short little sticks, and because they're from my early childhood bin of fun, colorful things off to the side here. And what I do with my itty bitty, so whether it's preschool, early childhood classes I do with parents, or just my kinder babes, is when they get sticks, they all automatically play them like this. But we take some time to look at the different ways that we can play sticks because we don't need to just bang them together. We can also play them this way if you're just listening, like horizontally tapping the ends, or you can do them up and down like this. You can play them like a hammer, like this, where one is vertical and one is tapping on the top. You can put one on the ground and tap all along like it's a frog on a log, like Victoria shared with us earlier. Or you could roll them. Oh, wait, does that make a sound? It might make a different sound if you hear a quiet sound, or you could roll them together, right? So there's all different sorts of ways you could tap on your toes, you could tap on your knees, you could tap on your shoulder, you could tap with a neighbor, you could tap sticks very carefully, right? So there's all these different ways that we can tap this steady beat, was really a big steady beat practice, with our sticks. So what I do is I just take whatever those movements might have been with Willum, he had seven sons, with each son, and I give the students an opportunity to show me. So it might look like, as I'm singing, show me your favorite way to play the sticks. And as we sing like the hook, if you will, Willum, he had seven sons, seven sons, seven sons. Willum, he had seven sons, and this is what they did, right? So I see Victoria is tapping her sticks together lengthwise, straight up and down. So let's make number one do that. Can everyone show me? And then sing and do that. Go back to the hook and say, oh, show me your favorite way again. And then draw from whatever you see. Oh, I see that Bobby, I always say Bobby, I don't know why. Bobby is playing his sticks like this, right? And so that's what number two is going to do, right? So number two, and then we go to number one, which we got from Victoria. Now we're back to all seven sons. Show me your favorite way, and just keep gathering I like to do it that way with the little ones because they have to remember we're all doing something in unison. But then when we go back to kind of the chorus or the hook, if you will, then we are back to like kind of a free exploration where they get an opportunity to choose and I get an opportunity to gather what's going to happen with the next son. So there's none of like, who wants to tell me who's next or what's happening? It's just I'm drawing from it organically as we go. And it gives lots of opportunity for steady beat and playing sticks lots of different ways. And that's Willum. He had 7 sons.
I love that, Anne. I love everything about that. So one of the things that you're setting up here is not just the mechanism of, the lower stick stays still and the top stick moves, right? You're setting up the tone of it. You're setting up like the energy of the activity. And I think also having a song that's in minor kind of helps with that. Like it's just like this sense of wonder, like I don't know what's gonna happen next. Oh wow. Ooh, I see so and so doing this. Oh, that's fun. Let's all try it. Whatever. So the tone of voice that you're using as you approach this activity, I think is huge. I think it's very difficult to understate or overstate how much your teacher presence really impacts this activity. Because you can also see it going, and this is, dipping into classroom management a little bit, but you can also see it going like you pass out all these rhythm sticks and you say, play them however you want, let's go, right? But that's not what happens here. So when you do this activity, what's the response from students?
In terms of
like, are they,
level,
no, are they
level,
going
what
like wild and crazy and like whacking each other on the head? And you're saying no. So what do you attribute that to?
I attribute it to like the kind of the vibe of the song and how you present it, right? So the fact that it is in minor, it does kind of have that like, right? It kind of has like that, ooh, everybody's eyes are a little bit wider. It's like almost spooky sound, right? That's the first thing kids always say when they hear minor. So it goes all the way back to, this wouldn't be new the first time I pass out sticks. We would have played it without sticks, right? And so I'd say, all right, boys and girls, close your eyes. And I want you to listen to my song. Okay. And while they have their eyes closed, that's when I would go around and put sticks in front of them. And I would just go, do, 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 do. Put your finger on your nose if you think you know what the song is. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, keep your eyes closed, but if you think you know what the song is, go ahead and sing it with me. Do, 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 do. Probably a couple more times until I got all the sticks out. Okay, open your eyes. And then we would start kind of the activity, right? Because that's another classroom management thing too, right? The transitions and the passing out of the instruments and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of sets the tone. Like they've had their eyes closed, they've been listening. We're kind of talking in a quieter voice. It's like, oh, I wonder what all those sounds could do. How else could you play? Oh, that's kind of a secret sound, right? Be gentle. All those types of, the type of language that you use is really important, right?
That's huge. Yeah. And I was saying, before we were recording that if we take these sticks and we just kind of like throw them at students and say like, here, we use these to, like hit together, then that's the kind of approach that students are going to take. But if from the very beginning, like the very first time they hold the rhythm sticks, they're not rhythm sticks. They're like musical exploration tools, right? That really changes, it changes everything about how the activity goes from there. So I love it. Anything else to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, just another additional scaffold, right? Is that if you were worried about this being too much and like all the banging, maybe we start out like this. Willum, he had 7 sons, and it's like footsteps right on the floor. If you have a carpeted floor, it'd be better. But again, or a rug, then that would kind of still set the tone, right? I mean, you're still gonna have to address like the violent behavior with this, not violent, but like the crazy behavior with the sticks anyway, right? But yeah, just trying to set it up as much as you can. But there it is.
Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, so another classic unpitched percussion activity that we did not do in those previous episodes is just something rhythm versus beat. So let's go to a classic in a kindergarten classroom and put this beat in your feet while we are moving around the room. And I am the conductor, so I'm leading my class around the room in different pathways that we can explore, like a zigzag or a circle or a straight line or whatever it is while we speak. Engine, number 9, going down down Chicago line. See it sparkle, see it shine. Engine, engine number 9. Take out your hands and clap the words. Engine, engine number 9. Going down Chicago line. See it sparkle, see it shine. Engine, engine number 9. Now I'm going down my train, and in this car, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these passengers, we are at your stop. So will you please, 1, 2, 3, 4, will you please move to this wall? And those passengers have moved to the wall, and their job is the rhythm of the words. And at this point, if we've done enough like rhythm versus beat stuff, I'm going to jump ahead because the point of this is unpitched percussion. Those passengers at the wall while they're just waiting, because listen, as you're waiting, you need to stay on the platform, because if you leave and the train comes by and it misses you, then boy, oh boy, you're going to miss your stop. You don't get to go to, Disneyland or the grocery store or wherever it was you were going. So you need to stay right there with your rhythm sticks in rest position. And when we start, those passengers who are seated at the station ready to wait for their train to come pick them up, they are doing the rhythm of the words. Let's practice that all together. Here we go. Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. Great, brilliant, you're excellent. Next, I need a ticket master. And that ticket master is at a Tubano. I'm going to pick up my Tubano right here. And that Tubano is their desk. So they will be at the ticket station. So one person, it happens to be the person closest to me, they're moving to the desk, and on their desk, they are tapping a steady beat. Let's pat that together. Here we go. Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. And of course, the ticket master is playing it on their hand drum. Okay, great. So now I have one ticket master. Depending on how long I'm going to do this activity in this class, I might say this is a joint operation. And so you get to choose 2 friends, right? And it's ticket master and sons or whatever incorporated it is. So you have, maybe up to 3 people around a Tubano. And I have my 4 passengers who are seated at the train station waiting. And I am leading the rest of the class around the room in a circle. And then we say, last stop. When the person at the platform who is waiting, the person who has had the rhythm sticks up to this point, they're going to walk to someone on the train, hand them the rhythm sticks, check and make sure that they know what rest position is, because if they don't know rest position, they cannot play the rhythm stick part today. Maybe another class, but not right this moment. You're going to hand it to someone on the train. They go to rest position, and if they know what rest position is, then they get to go sit at the platform and just wait. And then the ticket master, they switch out their people, and so now we have a new set of people waiting at the train station, ready to do the rhythm of the words. A new set of ticket masters at their desk, ready to pat the steady beat. And we do this activity, a million and one times. So that's a rhythm versus beat thing where I have the steady beat people over on one side. I have the rhythm people on the other side. I am in the middle with the rest of the class moving us around a train. And the nice thing about this is I have like eye contact with everyone, so I can help people wherever it's needed. If I start this, because this is a lot, there's a lot going on. Like it's a full on part work situation. If I start this and I realize once again, like I thought that I was taking 1 step, but I realized I was taking 17 steps, then I just stop and there's not a ticket master, or maybe there aren't people waiting at the platform, and I do it 1 step at a time for a couple classes until we're ready for this full beat and rhythm and movement situation. So that's a rhythm versus beat with unpitched percussion, but a way to kind of add a little bit more imagination to it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that because your kids, I'm sure on your learning objective for the day, it would talk about beat versus rhythm, and you use those words with your kids, but it's a game, right? We're the train, we're the ticket master, we're these important roles. And so that's what they're focused on. And it's not about, not necessarily about those like nuts and bolts that we're trying to figure out. So what I love about this is exactly what you said at the end about how there's a lot of opportunity for like the ticket master to go to lunch and for us to just like focus on the trains, like the runaway trains for a little bit, right? And like all of those kinds of things where you can take the steps back when you need to. What I
Mm-hmm.
also like about it is it's a rhythm versus beat activity that is not reliant on students doing both at the same time. Because it's really cool and fancy for kids to be able to step the beat and to keep the way the words go in their hands. It's
Yeah.
also really, really, really hard. And
Yeah.
so this is, even though there's a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really great stepping stone to being able to do some of that like individual part work on your own body at the same time, because you're doing an isolated thing, but you're seeing it the other part happen around you. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that you would have kids switch parts too, right? So they would get that experience on both sides. So I love it.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
great.
absolutely. Okay, great. Okay, so now at this point, we've explored unpitched percussion from several different angles. Now, in our next episode, we're going to zoom up to upper elementary and start thinking about some first experiences or early experiences with recorder. So, if in the meantime, you are interested in zooming straight ahead and hearing those episodes on your own, you can go to teachingmusictomorrow.com, and we have all of these episodes ready to go, along with some extra resources, including a classroom management conversation. We have some slides. We have some other things for you to print out and use in your classroom as well. So you can go to Teaching Music Tomorrow and get those, and we will see you in the next episode.